Welcome back, everyone, to the Suburban Rifleman. I did a video a few weeks ago, maybe close to a month ago at this point, on a conventional rifle scope. This is the first conventional rifle scope from DNT Optics. DNT stands for Day-Night Technologies. They mostly deal with night vision optics, specifically thermals. But they've decided to dip their little toe into the conventional rifle scope market. This scope is called the One. It's a 7-35 by 56. I shot it a little bit in a video, again, about a month ago, and I tested the tracking both in horizontal and elevation, but I was really up against it. It was the very, very end of the day, and it was almost completely pitch black by the time I got done with that video. And I felt bad about just doing that. This scope was not given to me, full disclosure. I've not been paid anything by DNT Optics, and this scope is not mine to keep. It was sent to me for testing and evaluation, and I've already exceeded the T&E period, and they're asking about where their scope is, and I do want to send it back, but I felt bad about that really short video. I didn't give an overall shooting impressions of this particular scope, and to be perfectly honest, I think that this scope is really quite excellent. The optical clarity of the ED glass lenses is very, very good. The image quality all the way out to the periphery of the field of view is very, very good. I'm out here in daylight now. When I shot last time in near darkness, the light gathering was very good. The image looks really great during the daytime. I'm not noticing any optical aberrations or chromatic shifts. And unfortunately, there's no good way for me to film through the scope. I do have a Trigger Cam 2.0, which is good for documenting shooting. You can see the target being hit, but it doesn't give you a really good representation of what it looks like to look through the scope. But I can tell you that at around $600, I think these are running. You'll have to double check that. I think this is a remarkably good scope. It compares very favorably with scopes that I've had from Discovery Optics. I've never shot an Arkin, but I've had a chance to check them out a little bit, and Arkin optics are very highly regarded at this point, and they're a bit more expensive than this scope, and I would have a very difficult time telling the difference between an equivalent Arkin scope at 7-35 by 56 and this scope, the One from DNT Optics. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to do a ton of shooting, but I'm very, very favorably impressed with this scope. I had a free afternoon today, so I've done a little bit of shooting, and I didn't want to document all that. It was mostly at paper, getting this thing zeroed. But my barrel is nice and cool once again, and I thought I would just take a few shots. I've got my Caldwell 8-inch AR-500 steel plate out at 200 yards. So I've got about, there's 6 rounds here. Here's a 7th round. You can see it's loaded in N-block clips for an M1 Garand. This is Greek HXP M2 ball, manufactured in 1967. This is very highly regarded stuff. Maybe not quite as good as Lake City, but very good, very consistent. I'm going to be doing some chronograph testing with this in the near future. I'm assuming this is a 151 grain FMJ bullet. So, as I said, I've got the plate set up at 200 yards. I don't have my big monstrous lens out here with me today. I've just got a 150 millimeter kit lens on the Olympus. So, B-52's going over. So it's not going to zoom in real tight on the plate, but you should be able to see it. It's the brightest yellow spot out there. Let's take 7 shots and see how I do. Let's see how many times out of 7 shots I can hit this plate. This is my Montgomery Ward branded Coltsman rifle in 30-06, obviously. I just talked about the ammo. This individual rifle was made, I think, 1957 or 1958. This is an FN commercial Mauser action with a Colt barrel. That was a miss. Looked a little bit off to the left. Okay, that looked to be off to the right. Okay. Shooting a little right. Yeah, definitely shooting a little bit right. 2 more rounds. I'd say the rifle's doing a great job, but the scope seems to be doing its job fine. So I guess in all I had 2 complete misses at 200 yards. I had a hit here. You can see there was another round that almost hit in exactly the same spot and just clipped the target. Had a hit here on the edge, 2 what I would call solid hits, and that's from a previous shooting session. So, I mean, this is not a target rifle. It was never intended to be a target rifle. This is a hunting rifle. Probably not appropriate to a full-size target scope like this, but fun little experiment. Apparently, someone found a good use for their kids' Pokemon stickers. Poor Pikachu. He looks so fierce, but I think a couple of those bullet holes might have taken the fight out of him. So overall, I would say I'm perfectly pleased with DNT's The One rifle scope. It's a little bit difficult to say. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but I'm glad that they gave me an opportunity to check this out. They told me they're going to send me one of their thermals next. That's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be a lot easier for me to gather footage with that because I'll be able to get some nighttime shots, not necessarily shooting, but I have access to a lot of wildlife that we can take a look at and see what the capabilities. Of course, we will shoot the thermal probably in daylight. I don't really have a place to shoot at night, but we'll certainly shoot that thermal. But I should be able to get some really cool wildlife footage through it and test the capabilities of the different modes. I'm really looking forward to that. And when I do that, I hope to catch each of you here then. Later, guys.